It hasn't really sunk in yet. The dream game all over again. Louisville versus Kentucky. This time it's in the Final Four. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by Sam Swope. Our number, 964-2121, the Goomer & Company Buzz line. We know you want to weigh in on what will be probably the biggest sporting event in this state in decades. I'm Greg Brom, joined tonight by the host of Sports Talk 84 on WHS Radio, Lachlan McLean. And Lachlan,
we're going to make it sink in, Greg. I'm with you. It seems unreal to some extent. This is a week, though, where as a sports host, I'm watching what I'm wearing every day. It's going to be green and navy and gray and orange. I'm not wearing red or blue any day this week because I'm just going to break it down.
I even did that tonight just to be safe. What do you think your radio show is going to be like this week?
Oh, I mean, it's funny because there's no other topic that has a chance. I mean, I don't care if Peyton Manning and Brett Favre get married. I'm not talking NFL this week. We're going with cats and cards, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be. And, you know, I remember the Dream Game. I was a little kid, the original one in '83. And the more I think about this one, and you have the mass media of ESPN and all the attention that daily sports radio gives to these teams, I mean, I actually think this is bigger. I think this is the magnitude of it will grow as the week goes on, and this whole city and state will have a nervous breakdown on Saturday.
And I think the good thing about this, though, is it's going to get the national media to really focus in on what a basketball hotbed this is, because we say it all the time. It's the best college basketball town in the country, and it gets overshadowed at times by the triangle of North Carolina, Duke, and NC State. And when people start breaking down the numbers, the wins of these teams, the TV ratings, the attendance, the national media, the country is going to have to wake up and go, wait a minute, this is where college basketball matters the most.
Okay, in this matchup Saturday, and Louisville's had a magical run. It was just so exciting to watch them the last few weeks. But on Saturday, have they, since December, have they closed the gap on Kentucky? Vegas has it a 9-point spread. Louisville only lost by 7 in December, so Vegas maybe doesn't think they have. What do you think?
Well, first off, obviously the Louisville game in December, Russ Smith hit those 2 threes in the last 5 seconds. That was a double-digit.
But it was tied in the second half.
No, I'm with you. I mean, remember Louisville got down 15, they pulled it within 1, and I was making some notes. They were down 6 with 7.5 minutes left in that game. But it's hard to use that game as a real gauge of anything, A, because the refs called so many fouls. I mean, they weren't even playing basketball. They were just blowing whistles there. But B, it was so long ago. I mean, we talk about how long ago the UK-IU game was. It was something like over 80, 90 days ago. I think you look at the box score. Shane Bohannon played 15 minutes in that game. He's going to play a lot more and a much more important role. Clearly, both teams have gotten better. Clearly, Louisville's playing significantly better basketball, and their defense is just epic. But UK's offense has gotten so much better, too. They're starting to make jumpers now. You know, it used to be, you force them to shoot outside. That was your chance. In this tournament run, they have not shown up. Yeah, I
don't really see a weak link. And Friday night's game was amazing between Kentucky and Indiana, the offensive display that was being put on by both teams. Louisville, though, it seems, may be playing with house money now. And the pressure, don't you think the pressure is so much more on Kentucky, and more so even, the pressure's always been there to win the title. But there might be more pressure not to lose to Louisville than to win the title.
I think you're right on. And I don't know if it's for the Kentucky players feel that pressure, but John Calipari is absolutely, I don't know if you can have a more pressure-filled situation because he's got to beat Louisville. He's got more talent. He's got the hotter team. He's the huge favorite. It's one thing to ever lose to the Cards, but to do it in that setting. And the question is whether he will acknowledge that pressure, which he won't, but then subconsciously, does that filter down to his players? Like you said, though, Louisville, they find a way to make it ugly, to make it uncomfortable.
They're not scared of Kentucky.
And they're not scared.
I don't think they are. I think they legitimately want Kentucky, wanted to play Kentucky.
Which I think it's a mistake.
It is a mistake. I wanted Baylor.
Louisville fans are like, bring on Kentucky.
I saw Baylor, I'm like, no, we'll play those guys.
Yeah.
Because Kentucky, you know what, Kentucky probably feels not. The players, I don't think, like you said, I think it's all amongst the fans. I think to the players, this is the Final Four. It's not the rivalry game as much.
Yes.
These players at Kentucky probably don't feel that threatened by the players at Louisville. But Louisville does have a chip on their shoulder playing these guys. The condescension that emanates from the Kentucky Big Blue Nation sometimes towards Louisville is something that they really think they have. Like the original Dream Game, Lachlan, when it happened in '83, if Kentucky would have won that game, it would have just fizzled into memory, I think.
Yeah.
Louisville won it. it's iconic.
Great
That's
point.
what I think this game will be. Kentucky wins it, it'll be that time they played in the Final Four. If Louisville wins it, it's a earth-shattering moment.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And I don't think the Cat fans intend to be as condescending as they are. And there's a ton of things that Kentucky's accomplished with the wins and the titles and the history and the tradition. And it is unparalleled. Occasionally, they get the sense like they invented the sport and it wouldn't exist without them. And every program
Didn't Cal suggest that Louisville didn't exist a little earlier in the year?
That's another, the team that doesn't exist now is, you better beat them. If they don't exist, you better beat them.
Is there any chance that Louisville is UConn from last year? I actually think now Rick is going to go into this, Locke, and you can answer that. I think he's going to go into this and say, hey, we're going to win this thing. That's what he's trying to get to his players. We're trying to win it. We're just not trying to beat Kentucky.
Yeah, I've never bought into that analogy because UConn had Kemba Walker, and he was a superstar, and Louisville doesn't have a player who's first, second, or third team All-Big East. The thing is, collectively, they are UConn. They're playing their best basketball when it matters the most. They have enough pieces that they can beat you playing any style. Now, they don't have a superstar, but in every game, they kind of have, I don't know, 3/4 of a star in Zhang and Bohannon and Siva, and they add it all up. And at this point, I would be an idiot. I'm not going to pick Louisville because I haven't picked them the whole tournament, but you'd be an idiot to think that the Cards could not win a national championship.
Let's talk a bit about Kentucky and how just dominant they've been. I actually think, Locke, that as far as just the quality of their team and the talent, the way they play, I think it's better than the '96 championship team. Even that team, Pitino's best team with Delk. And we look at this. These are NBA. These are all guys going to get drafted in the NBA. They're playing as well as they are. I actually think it's a better team.
Well, it's really hard to find the weaknesses with this team. And I think early in the season, you could find them. And now, we were talking off air. You really, other than foul trouble, and if they get Davis or Kid Gilchrist leaving the court for significant stretches, and maybe Darius Miller is a little bit up and down. He's been hot for the tournament, but he's had games where he's not on it. The only thing you can point to is they really only have 7 guys. And if you happen to get foul trouble to 1 or 2 and another couple that aren't on their game, but if they're all on, I've said it all year, they can play their B-level game and beat anyone in the
I don't know if they can do it with Louisville this time, though. I think they're going to have to be close to the top of their game because, first, Louisville's not intimidated.
Right.
Second, you need somebody who's going to get in your grill to play Kentucky. Like Baylor just backed off. Like it was soft.
Yeah,
it was really kind of soft today.
So soft.
And Louisville won't react like that. Now, can they play basketball well enough to keep? Kentucky's probably going to score some points, no matter how great Louisville's defense, which it's been great. But I
think, we're going to break down a bunch of X's and O's over the course of the week, but obviously Louisville's going to try and press them. I think I was surprised in the first game that they didn't press more, and I think that the press has been the key to their postseason success, and they've got to make it tough for Marcus Teague to bring the ball up the court, see if they can wear him out, see if they can get some turnovers. Now, he's been playing well. He has the Kentucky. We could rave about it, and I know Louisville fans are tired of hearing it. They don't even turn the ball over. They make shots. They don't turn it over. It's, you got to hope something happens.
You have to hope they throw something clinks.
Yes.
The shots aren't falling. The traditional way to beat them is hope they miss threes. You have to hope something like that happens. Davis, today I couldn't believe Cal put Davis back in the game.
Oh, my God.
He almost gets hurt, and you're thinking there it goes. There goes the title. Then he goes right back in the game.
And he kept
put
playing.
him on the bench.
Well, that's one angle, by the way. If I'm playing UK, please, Anthony Davis, keep shooting those jumpers. I don't care, and I don't care how good his stroke is, and it's all good. That is not the best use of him as a basketball player. I would encourage him to keep shooting jumpers, and maybe this injury crops up again. Who knows?
All right, our number, 964-2121. We'll take your calls after this break. This is the Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope.
You're going to love Louisville Athletic Club's solution to your fitness resolution.
For a limited time, join the area's premier fitness club for as low as $9.99 per month or no enrollment fee.
That's right. Join now for as low as $9.99 per month or no enrollment fee.
Call now and start your fitness resolution.
Hi, I'm Kevin Renfro of the Becker Law Office. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer, please call us. Mesothelioma is a cancer caused by asbestos, used in construction, power plants and factories, ships and towboats, and in auto brakes. Call the Becker Law Office. We're committed to helping asbestos victims and their families get the compensation they deserve.
Serious, experienced, results. Call the Becker Law Office for a free evaluation. Just dial 3s.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.
The landscape of sports talk radio in Kentuckiana has changed in a big way. 1450 The Sports Buzz has the perfect blend of local shows and Patrick in the mornings, and Yahoo Sports Radio, The Freak Show with John Renshaw, has made its triumphant return from 3 to 5 p.m. The afternoon Sports Buzz makes that drive home easier from 5 until 6 with Greg Brown, Rob Jones, Trevor Kelsey, and a slew of others. 1450 The Sports Buzz also has you covered with the biggest high school, college, and pro games every week. Sick of the same old watered-down sports talk? Look no further than 1450 The Sports Buzz.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
We're back. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope. We're talking about Louisville, Kentucky in the Final Four. And we've got full phone lines. Lachlan McLean along with me, Greg Brom. And Terry, you're up.
Hello, men. I would like to give a shout-out to all of Tiger Woods fans. Tiger.
I knew it was coming live.
I would also like to thank Daryl Griffin because from the time they did that show, I think on WHAS, whatever, he said that Louisville would go all the way. He was the only one up there. Even Denny Crumbs didn't back him, but that's okay. And then also, Baylor did not have Russ Smith. That's why they gave up. And then on top of that, I want to know one thing. Why do the ESPN people keep putting Louisville down, talking about they got a weak schedule? Half of the people that they play in non-schedule, they won their championship. We played 2 SEC teams. We beat Villanova. Kentucky beat us. Villanova beat Kentucky for the SEC. So I don't know where they get this stuff from. That's it.
Terry, you better, I hope they keep picking against Louisville. I think Louisville fans, you should hope, nobody will pick Louisville this week.
No.
And I think Louisville is going to eat that up.
I agree. I think it's going to be a great card for Rick to play. No one believes in you. They've never believed in you. You got to keep proving people wrong. The only thing I will say is there was no reason to believe in Louisville after that regular season. Let's be very clear about something. It's not like they were treated unfairly. They finished 7th in the Big East. They didn't beat a team with a winning league record. They lost by 31 to Providence. They lost at home to South Florida on Senior Day. I'm not quite sold on the revisionist history of Rick. It's like, we had a great season that our fans didn't appreciate. No, you had a generic season, and then you turned it on like a champ. But there was no reason to believe in them. So props to the fans who did. But the people who were evaluating this team had every reason to think that they were not playing their best. The switch that was flipped is the most amazing.
It is amazing, but I do have to say, even as they've continued to win, they're not getting many converts.
No,
they're getting not many converts yet.
I mean, they were an underdog to a 7 seed.
It's a 7 seed. Not many converts at all. Okay, let's go to our next caller. Troy.
Yes.
Hey, you're up, man.
Yeah, how y'all doing tonight, Greg? First of all, I love your show.
Thank you.
Die-hard Louisville fan, not going to lie, kind of gave up on the team. On senior night, I mean, it was embarrassing. But the tournament started, and Louisville's turned it around. Great defense, and we're peaking at the right time. Congratulations to Kentucky, and congratulations to the Cards. I think the key to the game will be if there's some way possible that we can hold Kentucky 70 points or less, Louisville will win. But if we get out running with Kentucky, it'll end up about like the Indiana game. But going to New Orleans and the Bluegrass Grawl is on.
You know what? That's one thing. He brings up a good point. Louisville wants an up-tempo game, but you really don't want to. You want to run, but you don't want a high-scoring game. It's like you want to run, but you want the score down. And Louisville, Look, that's got to be the best defense in the country.
Well,
I think it's better than Kentucky's now.
You do, really?
I do. I really do. I mean, Indiana scored. Indiana scored.
You know, Indiana did score. Indiana's a really, really good offensive team.
They are good offensive
team. The length. I think the way Louisville plays defense is better than Kentucky, but I think the athleticism and the length of Kentucky, the overall result, it's harder to score against Kentucky.
Well,
but you're right.
Generally, you can't score inside the paint at all against Kentucky.
Well, both teams have
Zhang
the big man.
Especially against Michigan State.
Yeah. I mean, Zhang, and now there were callers to one of the other stations on in our network that said, Gorgui Zhang's now as good as Anthony Davis. And it's like, okay, settle down.
He's
having a phenomenal postseason, but it's kind of like everything Louisville has, Kentucky has it just a little bit better. But the defensive scheme and what they're doing, they are locking people down. That's why the first half of Florida was so. You're like, where is this? I mean, you haven't seen anyone do that. And then, but Louisville.
Well, the second half they changed to man-to-man. No three-point three-point. Made field goals the second half for Florida.
It was really, I cannot say enough about Louisville's defense, and it's been hard for me to appreciate it because it makes the game ugly, and it's not pretty, and it's certainly a lot more enjoyable to watch like an IU-UK game running back and forth. But Louisville's defense is fantastic. And you mentioned the scoring. I mean, Louisville has not lost a game this year when they score 70 points or more. They're 16-0. But I don't know if they want to score over 70. They want a game in the 60s.
They absolutely want it in the 60s or lower. If that's going to be. You're going to hold 60. Be good to hold Kentucky too. But we'll not go to the 50s. Okay, next caller up. Who we got? Will, hey, you're up.
How you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
For a while, I am a Louisville fan, and it's nice to see both teams in the Final Four. I will say this that. And, Lachlan, I agree with you to some extent, but I will ask you this question. What team, and this is not an excuse, it's a reality, what team have you seen in the nation has faced the adversity that Louisville's faced this year with injuries? Yet to still see them, go to the Big East. I mean, I'm not making excuses. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you have an injury or not. Either you win or you don't. My point is they did get hot at the right time. They're in the Final Four. I do think, though, I'm amazed. And for a while, this game, you're right about, I think the Louisville's an unbelievable defensive team. I do believe that Michigan State kind of found that out. And for a while, as Kentucky, they don't call it madness for no reason. So one other question to you all, though, you can answer this if you can. After the season's concluded, what do you think about Bohannon, obviously his performance, and do you think he'll be back next year?
You know what? He'll be back. I could see him being a person that might get stars in his eyes a bit, but he's 6'5". Yeah, he's playing power forward. What improvement, though. He was a beast in these two regional games, and I loved at the end of the game when he got the ball in the block and he just waved away. He waved everybody. He said, I'm taking this. Yeah. That showed some stones there of a guy to make that move and score.
And it hit the three, too. I cannot imagine a scenario that he's not back with the Cardinals. I would think your worst case is he goes to test the water but not hire an agent just to get an idea. But that even would be a mistake.
I worried more about Gorgui for a while, but Gorgui is big on education.
I say his parents will keep him there. That's the thing. We're looking way ahead. Yeah. Next year's Louisville team all of a sudden becomes very intriguing because although they lose Kerrigan Smith and Swap, a lot of the key components are back.
And the injured guys do come back. He made a point about the injuries. Yeah. And I was a guy all along that thought, I didn't think preseason-wise this Louisville team, everybody was real high. And I'm like, talent-wise, you know what? They need everybody. They need every part to fit right. And then you lost 3 or 4 of the auxiliary parts, but they were important. The Maris jump shot, the toughness of Van Treese. Getting all those guys back will make them a lot better.
Yeah, and look, the caller's right. The injuries really impacted the first month or two. I think injuries, they can't explain what happened the last month of the season when they lost 3 or 4 to close the regular season. That's not injuries. But look, I'll agree that Mara's loss, I think, gets consistently underrated when they couldn't score and he was a shooter. And I think Blackshear was supposed to be their big-time McDonald's All-American scoring guy. Van Treese, I'm not sure how much a role he would have played. And so it's 2 significant injuries that I'm not gonna dismiss. And it's caller's right. It's important to bring that up.
All right, we're going to take our final break. Come back, take more of your calls. Also, we're going to talk about Rick's redemption. Rick Pitino has still got it, folks. The Sunday Sports Buzz presented by Sam Swope.
Hi, I'm Jim Weeks. At MaxCare, no project is too big. We have the capabilities to handle the smallest residential project to the largest commercial undertaking. We even clean big houses like this one. And everyone has been abuzz about our amazing 4 areas for $99 special. We want to let everyone know that MaxCare also cleans upholstery, ceramic tile, and air ducts. We also install and refinish hardwood floors dust-free. MaxCare, locally owned and family operated. Give us a call, 636-4629.
Pimp out your ride at Smart Shoppers, 4200 Produce Road. That's Smart Shoppers, 4200 Produce Road to pimp out your ride. They are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They are the largest car audio dealer in the city of Louisville. No better place for paint or body work in the city than Smart Shoppers. You need rims, stereos, amps, paint, anything you need. Call 964-6652 or go to smartshoppers.com. That's Smart Shoppers, 964-6652.
Hi, Joe here from Joe's OK Bayou. Sometimes a person's first visit here can be a little challenging on Cajun pronunciation.
I want some estouffee with crawdads.
What Bubba's trying to say is crawfish etouffee, one of our most popular Cajun dishes.
And some Creole and Piscante.
Here, Bubba's going to try some Creole and chicken sauce piquante due to their healthy ingredients.
I don't know what the heck I just ate, but it was good.
Hey, here at Joe's, you don't have to be able to pronounce it to like it. Joe's OK by you.
It's OK by me.
I thought all cleaning services were the same until Molly made my carpets fresh, until Molly made my bathroom glow, until Molly made my kitchen shine. I thought all cleaning services were too expensive until Molly made my day. Now, meet the cleaning professionals that work as hard as you do. Call this toll-free number for your free in-home consultation and customized estimate. Wow, Molly Maid was here.
Hi, I'm Kevin Renfro of the Becker Law Office. If you've had your Social Security disability claim denied, you're familiar with this: red tape. You need an experienced attorney to help you work through the confusing government regulations. Get the disability benefits you may deserve. Please call the Becker Law Office to help cut through the red tape of your disability claim.
Serious, experienced results. Call the Becker Law Office for a free evaluation. Just dial 3s.
Greg Brom and Lachlan McLean talking about Dream Game 2 this Saturday, Louisville versus Kentucky. And I think I'm speaking for a lot of Cardinal fans out there. And I was always one that Rick Pitino was my guy. I might question what he was doing quite often, but he still was the guy I wanted to coach the team. For all those Cardinal fans who wanted Rick out, said he'd lost it, said that he couldn't get it done anymore, game had passed him by. Never mind, Rick. We didn't mean that. We didn't mean that, because this guy, he still is Rick Pitino, and I think he showed it. That was a great coaching job.
It was a fantastic coaching job, but I'm going to play contrarian because I'm sorry. It's like if you had to evaluate a Tim Tebow football game after 3 quarters, what are you going to say? He's not getting the job done. In the 4th quarter, he does. That's fine. But in that 3rd quarter, which was what this season was, this regular season was a Tim Tebow first 3 quarters. Rick deserved the heat. People should not apologize for giving Rick
I think you can question him, but they wanted to just throw him out and get somebody else.
I'm like, no, this guy still has it. I thought the number of people, there was dissatisfaction. The angle that they wanted him gone, I think that was less than 10% of fans. I think there was way more than 50% were dissatisfied, and you should be. 1 Final Four in 11 years.
Well, I was going to say, does this validate his tenure? 2 Final Fours now? And I don't even count the first 4 years. I count that were building years. Right, I started 05 Final Four and go from there on. Does this validate
This is a huge, you can't, it makes it much more difficult to criticize. I will say that. I will say, because it's the exact opposite of last year, where they had such a great regular season and then it was all for naught. This year, the regular season, but the postseason is incredible, and that's how we judge people. Like, who had a better year this year, Missouri or Louisville? Well, Louisville, even though clearly Missouri had a better year as a whole. So I think it does validate Rick. It's going to be very hard to doubt him in the future, but the idea that fans have to apologize for Rick until he apologizes when he goes to the NIT. Nobody has to apologize for anything. You criticize and then you praise appropriately.
I like it. Okay, Al, you're up.
Hey, Greg. I want to touch on one thing. You mentioned earlier about the condensation of the Big Blue Nation.
Yeah, condescending nature of it.
Okay, yeah. As a Kentucky fan living in Louisville, We see it the other way around. Louisville fans hate it because there's so many Kentucky fans in the city of Louisville. They don't like the fact that on WHAS radio we have the prime spot and stuff. So we see it the other way around.
I know you do, Al, but here's what you don't understand. In my opinion, how I've seen it over the years, Louisville fans are responding to the Kentucky first shot. And it's a self-defense thing. If somebody swings at you and you swing back, what'd you say? You said that.
At this point, I think it's hard to say who fired the first shot. I think the shots have been going back and forth. But I just do think that Kentucky, and again, I've been on the air, I've been in this market since '99, and they haven't been like super elite. So I had not seen what I've seen the last couple of years, which is just there's an arrogance in the last couple of years that I hadn't seen before, and you know it's not the most attractive thing in the world.
Is it arrogance if you can back it up?
When they're making Final Fours every year. The thing I would be curious about for UK fans is, though, you got to be a little bit scared. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of confidence this week, but there's got to be that little bit of, you can't really run your mouth too much.
It's worse than Leitner's shot. If Louisville would beat Kentucky in this Kentucky team in the Final Four, I think it'd be worse to them than Leitner's shot.
That's a good topic.
I would. And speaking of arrogance and condescending nature, Jeff Mason's on the line. Mason in the Morning, our morning show host, who texted me after the Louisville victory yesterday. Well, you guys haven't beaten anybody. And I'm like, yeah, Mace, you're right. We played an SEC team. We haven't beaten anybody. They're not any good.
Hey guys, it's Jeff Mason's alter ego, actually.
You might make some sense then.
You know, I'm a known UK homer who doesn't know much about basketball. I'm a UK homer, and I'm picking the UK Cats to beat USML by 50 points. And after we win, we're going to Saints Pizza to rename the Lambeau Walk to Adolph's Attic. We will drink cold beers and talk sports the way guys like to talk sports.
Okay, Mace. Good to hear from you. We'll hear you tomorrow morning on the radio, 1450 as well. Terrell, you're up. And then we're going to Handsome. Handsome, you up? Gotcha. Okay, we'll get Handsome tomorrow. We'll hear a lot from my man Handsome.
Especially handsome headed to the Final Four.
He is. You know what? The thing about Rick, and we talked a little bit about it, we got about 30 seconds. His whole brand has changed from how they played in the 90s to now. It's like the Pat Riley switch to the Knicks. I mean, it's defense. This Patino ball is just about getting in your face and wearing you.
And it's a real tribute, again, to the mental buttons he pushed with this team, because the talent is the same talent that wasn't that great, and somehow he's gotten them playing great. So I've been a critic, but you've got to give him the nod for what he has done.
All right, and that's just the start of the conversation. All week long, Lachlan McLean, 7 to 9 on 84 WHS all week long. We'll see you next Sunday, the Sunday Sports Buzz, presented by Sam Swope.